Okay, so a little bit of context before we do this. I made this video 2 years ago because I was very upset with the way the game was at the time. And what we're going to do today is we're going to watch it back. We're going to see how much of the stuff is fixed, see how much, you know, has changed in the game since then. So we're going to be pausing and going back. And so this should be interesting. So lads, everybody say hello to Tweak from 2 years ago. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, this is Tweak here, and I'm going to be making a video today that I didn't want to make. It is about the current state of Tarkov and what's going on with the game. For those of you that are out of the loop, this might be a good time for you guys to just watch this video and get up to date on some of the things that are happening. You guys remember when rubles only stacked to 100k? I remember. I've been throwing this idea around in my head for quite a while now to make this, and I didn't really want to do it because I didn't want to instigate any more, you know, drama with battle state and what's going on with the game's development and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like it should be made, and I feel like the more content creators out there that make these videos, the more chance that we have to get our points across to the developers. Because the reason why we're making these videos isn't because, oh, it's clickbait, oh, we just want to hate the game. It's like, it's not the case. We all love the game. Let's get that clear. Any streamer out there that's been streaming this game consistently over the last year, if not year plus, we all love this game and we want to see it do well. But we're getting to the stage now where things are getting beyond a joke, and I think we need to I think we really need to address some things here. So I'm gonna get started with my first point here, which is directly aimed at the person who manages the Battle State Games Twitter. Oh, here it is. You guys need to stop. Like, you need to stop. Do not post on your Twitter when an update is coming out. Do not say that it's coming out next week. Just don't do shit like that. Just stop it. You need... Okay, maybe this was bad timing to rewatch this. maybe this was bad timing to me. Okay, look, listen, chat. Okay, listen, chat. Listen to me before everyone starts fucking kecking at me. Okay, chat. This is literally the first time since I made this video they've done this. Okay, so fucking stop. Okay, stop. It's fine. Okay. The first time.
If you guys are transparent with us, everybody's cool with it. But once you say that a wipe is coming out next week or a major patch is coming out next week, we're all sitting here waiting for it. We're all, you know, hugely anticipating. Everybody gets super excited over it. And then a week goes by and there's nothing. And there's nothing to show for it. And it's like, oh, sorry, guys, it's been delayed for another 2 weeks. Guys, just be honest. Just say, all right, we're working on the patch. We're doing this, this, and this. It'll be ready in 2 months. Just tell us that. And people will be happy. People will be excited for that to come around. Next main point. I want to talk about ammo, and I want to talk about the flea market. It's ridiculous that I've grinded this game. Oh, they've massively improved transparency, like big time. Like, it's night and day compared to 2 years ago. Like, it's insane. Like, they've been fucking great, man. But the only thing is, though, like, it's just unfortunate that the first point I made in this video was about, like, tweeting stuff. But to be fair, this time around, the reason why they couldn't patch the game is because they have networking problems with, like, a couple of different, like, server regions in EU for some reason. And I'm pretty sure that that's completely out of their control. So that's why they couldn't upload the patch. But yeah. Over the last week to get max level, it's just something we all do. It's almost like a community challenge. Who can get to level 40 the quickest or whatever. I've hit this stage now. I can't even buy ammo for the new gun. I can buy the crappy, you know, the SX rounds or whatever they're called, the hollow point rounds. And I can't use the subsonic rounds. I can't use the armor penetrating rounds because every time a trader resets, it's sold out immediately. I can't even buy 1,000 rounds that would last me a couple of hours. You just need to make... Oh, okay. This is back before the ammo limits were added to the game. The ammo unlimited for the time being, because even all the high-end AK ammo is being sold out immediately too. And then immediately being put on the flea market and sold for double, triple, quadruple, 5 times the price of the ammo in some cases. Like, there's people selling 1 round of BS ammo for like $1,000 or 1,000 rubles a round. It's ridiculous. It's incredibly frustrating for us to not be able to use, you know, these weapons that we've unlocked. Okay, it is better now, and people aren't scalping the stuff onto the flea market because of the found and raid stuff, so that has been made better. Yeah, and Squish, honestly, I know BS is, like, expensive from the traders now, but I think it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
1k per round, huh? What an issue. I know, yeah. Now it's just like commonplace that all the high-end armor is expensive, which it kind of should be, you know? Just inflation, not a complaint.
And I unlocked Sniper level 7 yesterday. I got access to M61s. It's not going to be long until a lot more people have access to M61s, and they all keep getting bought out, and then we have to pay an extortionate price for them on the flea market. It's anti-fun. It's not cool.
Yeah, it is way better. I actually forgot about this, because for those of you that didn't play before the found and raid thing was brought in, so what you could do, and there was no ammo buy limits back then either, so what people were doing was they had bots that were basically buying out all the expensive ammo from the traders and then immediately putting thousands and thousands of all those rounds onto the flea market for way more than what they're worth from the traders. So not only could you not even get your 150 rounds of X from the trader on the reset, but you had to pay way more for it off the flea market if you even wanted to use that ammo. So the found and raid thing really fixed that, and not being able to buy stuff from the traders and sell it on the flea market made that way fucking better. So the trader limits and the found and raid thing fixed that pretty much.
It's incredibly frustrating to sit there, wait for the timer to tick down and try and buy your ammo, and then it's gone by a bunch of people that are likely using macros.
Yep.
There is also a latency issue to where other regions are going to get their traders reset a little bit before we do. So some people in the EU might not even get a chance, or some people in the States might not even get a chance to buy that ammo, or in other regions.
Oh yeah, because this was back when... or sorry, not even back when, but this was because the flea market is actually global across all regions. It still is, right? I'm pretty sure the flea market is still global across all regions. So like all servers, the flea market is the same, right? I'm pretty sure there isn't a flea market for EU and then a flea market for NA. I'm pretty sure it's all one, which is good, but yeah.
That's a huge problem. My suggestion for that is, for the time being, just make the ammo unlimited. It would stop a lot of this bullshit with people trying to make a shit ton of money on the flea market by macroing and buying out all the ammo. That's my 2 cents on it. One other quick thing on the flea market. Instead of getting individual mails for every item that we sell on the flea market, especially if you're selling in mass, make it one big collection screen.
Hey,
just make it like
they
a
did
big
that.
insurance screen that we can just collect all the money from. It's so tiny.
Holy shit. I actually forgot that you used to get money per individual sale on the flea market, and you had to go through every single item you sold individually to collect the money. Holy shit. I'm getting flashbacks, bro. Oh, that was so fucking bad. But they added that whole collection screen like not long after I made this video anyway, I'm pretty sure.
Consuming and irritating when you're selling things en masse to just go through each mail individually to collect every single item. It
dark
should just
times.
be one big insurance screen, similar to an insurance screen, to where you just collect everything in one go. That would just make everything so much smoother with the flea market. But I do want to say, in the defense of Battle State, the flea market is awesome. It's really great. I'm really I'm honestly surprised at how flawlessly it works. It's incredible. Whoever was working on that, you guys did a great job.
True.
And
I stand by that.
Besides the first day or two where there was a couple of little issues with it, it's been running perfectly since. So congrats, guys. Like, you did a fantastic job in the flea market, but there's a couple of little quality of life things that need to be changed there, and then it'll be perfect. All right, next big point, scav behavior. Scav behavior is absolutely ridiculous. They're far too aim body. It's stupid. I've had people tell me that they haven't had any issues with the scavs dispatch. Yeah, great for them. I have been one-tapped from over like 80 meters away by a scav with a Saiga 9 or a 153 using buckshot from standing on top of construction where only my head is exposed with a fast MT with a visor. The visor is down and I get one shot through it. It's crazy. Most times when I run into a scav, be they 100 meters away, 50 meters away, whatever, they will turn immediately and black out all my limbs.
I think I made this before the surgery kits even got added to the game. Yeah, the surgery kits weren't a thing in Tarkov at this point yet. Ah, wow. Wow, this really was a long time ago. But to be fair, people saying that the scavs are still bad, like, trust me, they're not bad at all compared to how they were like 2 years ago, man. The scavs are actually in a pretty good spot right now, I think. I think the scavs aren't in a bad spot right now. I think the scavs at this moment in time are probably some of the most balanced AIs we've had in the game.
compared to 2 years ago, yeah. Scav bosses are still bad though. I think all the Scav bosses are fine except for Sanitar. Sanitar needs to be toned way the fuck down, dude. Sanitar he's way too, like, the only way you can kill Sanitar is 1, his AI bugs and he doesn't shoot back at you. Same with his guards. 2, you throw Vogs. 3, you bring a grenade launcher. But like actually getting into a line of sight with Sanitar is a nightmare because they will just one tap you. It's nutty, man. Even when I'm behind cover, I've been shot through cover this patch more than I have any other patch, and it's so unbelievably frustrating. Also, the fact that scavs react the second you fire your gun and run away when you take a shot, that's not good. Oh yeah, they don't really do that anymore. Because scavs used to react the second you left clicked, and they would immediately run away. Now they don't really do that as much anymore. I think they still sometimes do it, but like it's pretty rare when it actually happens, as far as I remember. Or as far as I know, anyway. I don't think I've had that happen to me for a really long time now. That should not be a thing that happens. If I have the drop on a scav, and I'm sitting there with my scope like 100 meters away, and I shoot him in the head, and before the bullet can get to his head, he's already ran away. I've also had instances where the scav has been standing still, and I will see the blood fly out of his head and he'll still run away. I have also had instances of shooting scavs multiple times, way more times than should be required to kill them, and they have no armor on. This makes no sense. Okay, that's still a thing. And I still don't know why that's a thing. Where sometimes you'll just lay into a scav and they'll just, for some reason, take like half a mag to kill. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but that's still a problem. And yeah, I'm not sure whether it's to do with hit reg or server stuff or like, I don't know, but it definitely doesn't happen as much as it used to, like at all. Like it's way better than it used to be. But that's like the only thing that I can think of where, yeah, I've had like times recently where I've like put a lot of bullets into a scav that don't have armor on and they still take a while to put down, but it's definitely way better than it used to be. Yeah. AP ammo versus flesh damage? No, that's not it. Because a lot of the AP ammo that we use still has a lot of flesh damage. I have a theory hit reg is better with subsonic because the bullets are slower. I don't know. Projectile invalid like in Rust. Yeah, I wonder... God, that would be such an interesting thing to have on your screen, to be able to check your projectiles, whether they were valid or invalid. Like in Rust. That is annoying in Rust, though, where they check and see the damage and it's just like projectile invalid and it does nothing. Yeah, pretty sure it's... Yeah, it's got to be server stuff, but the point is, it's not anywhere near as bad as it used to be. It's so much better. There is something not right with scavs at the moment, and it needs to be addressed. Mm-hmm. As for scav bosses, they're crazy. They just laser beam your blacked out limbs, and they kill you immediately. You either need to just use grenades to kill them, or be so far away that they somehow miss your shots. But in certain situations, like on dorms, it's close quarters, there's nothing you can do against it. Sometimes you'll just walk in the door and they'll just laser you down, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Yeah, to be fair, I do remember this because when Reshala first came out and his gang, they were basically worse than Sanitar is now. Like, they were way worse than Sanitar is now. Like, you would see them for a split second and you'd be dead. Because what they'd do is they'd lock onto one of your limbs and they would laser beam that fucking limb down and you would be dead, like, almost instantly. This was also back when your blacked out limbs took, like, a multiplied amount of damage. Because these days, your blacked out limbs still take extra damage, but it's not anywhere near the same multiplier as it was 2 years ago. This was after they changed it so that once you... Okay, so for those of you that don't remember or didn't play back then, back when I first started playing Tarkov, when you got a blacked out limb, you couldn't repair it because there were no surgery kits, right? The meta used to be you would shoot people in the legs. Now, I know everyone's like, oh, leg meta. But the reason why you would shoot people in the legs instead of anywhere else is because if you blacked out somebody's leg, the next round that hit that leg would kill them instantly. Doesn't matter if it was a PM round, doesn't matter what round it was in the game. It could be the worst ammo in the game. It would instantly kill you. If anything hit your blacked out limb, you would die. Now, this even goes so far as if you were to walk into barbed wire by accident, it would instantly fucking kill you. Jumping on a blacked out limb, if you had a blacked out leg, would instantly kill you. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but
still does. Stomach is 1.5. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the multiplier was even higher back then. And it extended to all limbs, not just your stomach, I believe.
Those people out there that are going to say, oh, just get good at the game. It's... You guys clearly don't play the game. I don't care what you say. If you're saying stuff like that, you don't play the game. And I personally don't give a shit about your input on it. Because for us, for people to play this game every goddamn day.
I was so mad when I made this.
Fucking... Yeah, we eat, sleep, and breathe Tarkov. It's what we've done. It's what we continue to do. And it's broken. It needs to be addressed. The scab behavior needs to be changed. Helmet visors. There's still a bug where you go into a raid.
Hold up. My internet just like shit a little bit. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, dude, I was so mad when I made this video. Legs are 1x damage and arms are 0.7. Yeah, it's better, man. You were mad because you were passionate. It's okay to feel. Yeah.
With your helmet visor down, it'll show your
This was probably the maddest I ever was at Tarkov.
Down. You have to use a voice line to see if your character has an echo in his voice.
Oh, that was so annoying. The visor bug.
Going back to the armor bug that we had to deal with last patch, the patch before. This should not be a thing. It's gone beyond a joke at this stage to where simple things like staples in the game, such as armor, do not work as intended. This has gone beyond a joke at this stage, and this needs to be fixed. When I go into a raid, I shouldn't have to put my visor up and put it back down to make it work. I should just go into the raid and everything that I have on me should work. Because what this leads to is I get one tap by a guy and I'm sitting here wondering, oh, did my armor not work? Did my helmet not work? Was my visor not down? These are things I shouldn't have to question. These are things that just should work. They've been in the game for so long now. This kind of stuff is just really unacceptable. It's incredibly frustrating too. The face masks, the 6B and the Ronin.
Okay, so I'm just going to comment on that and just say armor and stuff, way better now. For example, you can go into a raid with your visor down and it works. Your armor works as well. If you get one tapped, you got one tap because frag chance and high pen round or something like that to your chest, which doesn't happen that much anymore now because they increase the HP of your thorax, right? After the Mosin nerfs or whatever. So that's fixed. Like, that's all fixed. That's all good now, and it all works pretty much as intended. I still think there's something weird going on with armor in Tarkov. I don't really know what it is, but I'm still pretty sure that there's something not quite right with armor, but it's definitely way better than it used to be. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see armor be changed still a little bit more and maybe worked on a little bit more, because it just doesn't feel... It just doesn't feel right, you know what I mean? Armor don't feel right, especially helmets, but maybe they're intended to be that way. I don't know.
I don't know what happened here, why they're all of a sudden super strong. Like, the Ronin is a class 2 helmet. We tested this on stream the other day. Took 16 rounds of PS ammo to kill somebody wearing a Ronin. Why? How? How did this change? What else has changed that we don't know about yet? Is the Gen 4 armor acting like P.A.K.A. now all of a sudden? Is P.A.K.A. armor now Ford armor? Like, what other values have been changed here? There's...
Okay, so to give some context to this and what I'm talking about, Shattered Masks and Ronins got bugged, basically. Like, this, like, about 2 years ago. And it didn't last long. It lasted like, oh god, I don't know, like maybe a week? Maybe it lasted like a week, maybe 2 weeks. But basically, Ronins and Shattered Masks got bugged to where they had this absurdly high ricochet chance, and they were basically the best helmets in the game. When the Shattered Mask isn't armor, first of all, and the Ronin was like a super expensive helmet, but it was trash because it was like class 2. It still is a trash helmet, but for those, like, you know, week or two when this bug was happening, they were basically the best fucking helmets you could wear in the game, because the ricochet chance got bugged, and basically every time you shot them, there was a massive chance that every round you fired at them would ricochet off them until the armor was actually zeroed itself. So that's what bug that was, and I don't think I talk about it for too much. I'm pretty sure I bring it up here that it's a bug, and it'll probably be fixed soon.
Weird inconsistencies that are happening here between helmets. Like, I don't understand how we went from one patch and all this stuff working pretty much perfectly to another patch to where it's all fucked all of a sudden. I don't understand why. It doesn't make sense to me. As for 6Bs, better than Alton's right now. I don't get it.
This is all part of the same bug.
I saw people saying, "Oh, it's the ricochet chance." No, it's not. It's not the ricochet chance. It's not working as intended. I don't know how this got changed, but this needs to be fixed. I have like this patch alone, I've shot so many people in the head with M62 rounds, M80 rounds, armor piercing rounds for the MP7, high tier AK ammo, like BS rounds, BP rounds, BT rounds, and they just bounce off all the helmets in the game like it's no issue. Even the blue UN helmets from Peacekeeper, like they should stop nothing. Especially if I go out of my way to spend a ton of money on armor penetrating rounds. This should work. And the fact that it doesn't is turning Tarkov into less of a skill-based shooter, because in my opinion, that's
it might have been level 1, Kirkori, but like level 1, you know.
Instance-based, skill-based shooter. In my opinion. That's what I think Tarkov is right now. And whether you agree with me on that or not, fair enough. But that, in my opinion, is exactly what this game is right now. And for one player to just be able to turn around and brush off 10 rounds that just went into the back of his head and turn around and one-tap you somehow, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel good to play it. It feels like you're being robbed. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't shoot his head because he's invincible. So what do? I spray all my rounds into his legs and we all start using hollow points? You guys talk like leg meta isn't a thing. And this is some big fucking hilarious meme that's been thrown around the Twitch community for a long time. But like every day we seem to be getting closer to where shooting people in the legs is the only guaranteed way we can get a kill these days. For me personally, I'm never going to do that. It goes against everything I've learned playing competitive shooters the entire time I've been growing up. You shoot people in the head, they die. In Tarkov, you have helmets. I understand that. Certain helmets do not take that many bullets to put you down. It doesn't matter. There is no armor in this game.
Dude,
that makes
I was
you invincible.
so mad, bro. I was so mad.
It'll make you tank maybe an extra couple of rounds to your head. Shouldn't be any more than that. Even the Alton should be one-tapped.
You know, I wonder if this was before the face hitbox came in. Yeah, this had to have been before the face hitbox came in. Because because this was back when helmets actually covered your whole head. Back when your head was just one hitbox and your helmet like protected it or whatever. Which honestly, man, I kind of preferred Tarkov back then, not gonna lie. I kind of liked Tarkov back then. I liked that. I'd love to I'd love if BSG just had like a special event or whatever where it was like, oh, time warp back to fucking 2017, where we just had like a day or two of like running around with helmets that actually covered your entire head, just to see how like much different the game plays. I'd be really curious, man. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun event.
By any sniper rifle caliber round, I one-tap plenty of Alton's last patch with M61 rounds. Easy. That's how it should be. But right now, we're in a place where shit isn't working. Feels awful to play. Feels like the game is more based around RNG. This game should not be based around RNG. If I had it my way, I would first of all give every round just a flat armor pen chance, remove blunt damage, remove fragmentation chance. Your bullet either goes through this helmet or not. If you want to keep in the hardness values of helmets and their ricochet chances and shit like that, go for it. But I think removing RNG from this game would be a great way to improve its quality of life.
This is one thing that I still kind of stand by. I would really like it if they just completely get rid of fragmentation chance, get rid of, I don't know, maybe keep in ricochet chance, but like get rid of the frag chance anyway. But like a lot of the ammo feels very, very inconsistent, and a lot of the times it feels like you have to really shoot somebody like a lot when you shouldn't have to with the ammo that you're using. You know what I mean? And I think by like removing a lot of that RNG from the game, it would make it feel a lot better and a lot more fair, because sometimes I still feel like I'm getting scammed. You know what I mean? Just because this guy turned around and hit me once with whatever bullet and it fragmented, penned my armor, and he just hit that low chance to actually one-tap me. Yeah, I don't know. I'd still kind of like to see all that stuff sort of go away, but yeah, I don't know, man. Wish you hadn't shown that old video. You've really let yourself go in 2 years, man. LMFAO. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you, man.
And just the overall player experience. As for masks, they're obviously broken right now. I don't know what's wrong with them. Deadly tested it on stream the other day, and a skull mask or the shattered mask took a ton of shots. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, fix it, I guess. I don't even know what to say about that. The trader timers being increased to 3 hours is ridiculous. Stop. Put it back to 1 hour. It doesn't need to be 3 hours. For the time being.
Oh, yeah. This was back when the trader timers were 1 hour. Holy shit. I forgot that. Dude, I just always thought the traders were on 3 hour timers. They weren't. They were on 1 hour back then. Now they're on 3 hours. Huh.
Until the other systems are implemented to where this will make sense, remove it. It doesn't make sense to have it in the game right now. I know there's other systems going to be implemented in along with the flea market, and the flea market are going to interact with the trader prices, and trader prices are going to impact, you know, whatever you can put
2
up
hours
on
of
the flea market,
12.8. Yeah.
It's not in the game right now. It doesn't need to be like this. You need to change it back because it's annoying. It serves no purpose currently in the game. Okay, the next step I want to make is about the steps towards, steps backwards with regards to the end game. This was something I don't think anybody saw coming with regards to the increase in quest XP. All this does is it gets us to level 40 quicker without endgame. As far as I'm concerned, after you hit level 40 and you have all your tasks done, there's nothing left to do in Tarkov. There's absolutely nothing left. What I would suggest for this, roll it back to the older values, even reduce the XP that you gain from quests. Make us play the game for longer. Make us grind it out more. Give us more time with the game. Do not speed up the process. I don't care if you guys are catering to a casual crowd. You shouldn't be. This game was never...
Leave me alone,
was never supposed to be like that. It was never supposed to be catered to casual...
Yeah, this was before the Kappa container came out.
Casual players. I'm sorry to those people out there. I know this is going to strike a chord. I'm sorry that you work, you know, a day job and you only get an hour to play in the evenings every day or something like that, but we can't let this affect the game's general standing and how it's meant to be and how it's meant to be played. This game is supposed to be hard. We're supposed to work very hard to get our hands on high level stuff. All this gear I have on here, besides the M61 rounds, I had 3 days into the patch. I know I'm an exception to that. I had 20 hours of in-raid time by the end of the 3 days. I streamed for like 16 hours a day. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that can do that. There's tons of people out there that can do that. But you guys need to tone it back. You guys really need to tone it back with regards to how quickly we progress up through the levels, or change the leveling system altogether. My suggestion on this would be make it level 1 to 100.
There's no way you can get to level 40 in 12 hours. That's BS. So I said I streamed for 16 hours a day, 32, 48 hours. Took me about 48 hours of real life time to get to level 40. And generally, like, after wipes come out, like, I'm usually level 40 by the end of the 3rd day. Generally. Yeah.
100. Reduce the amount of XP it takes to get to level 100. Make it about the same XP that it takes to get from level 1 to 45 or level 1 to 50. And have progressive unlocks as we go along there. And progressive quest unlocks as we go along this path as well.
Isn't it funny? We were literally only talking... Like, I feel like we talk about this all the time. How the leveling system in Tarkov should be changed a little bit. I still agree with pretty much everything I'm saying here. I was actually... That was the most surprising thing about this patch. Was... They increased all the quest XP rewards, which just made it even faster to get to level 40. And since then, I don't think they've lowered the XP that you get from quests, but they're probably going to end up changing a lot of stuff to do with the progression next year, which is what Clean was telling me, or what Clean was saying on the podcast. So we'll just kind of let this slide for the moment and just see what they do next year as far as like the progression and stuff goes.
Like, you shouldn't be able to do this task until you're level 40. And then you get access to these series of quests. And then you have to grind out some raids to get some XP until you get to your next level where more tasks unlocked. Because right now, it's almost frustrating that every time you complete tasks, there's another 4 you get to do immediately. And you can bang out like 4 of these tasks in one raid. I think this is this is not a good way to have the game be. I think something with the fundamentals of leveling and XP gain needs to be changed. Make a prestige system in Tarkov. Make it so that when you hit level 100, you can choose to reset your account and maybe unlock something that nobody else will get until they hit level 100 as well. I don't care if it's a cool looking cosmetic. I don't care if it's an ammo type, a gun, an attachment. I don't care what it is. But we need something to continually work towards. Other games that have done prestige systems in the past, such as the Call of Duty series.
You know, I still think that having a prestige system in Tarkov, for the time being, until they actually add like an end game to the game, I think would be a really good fucking way to keep people interested and keep people playing the game. Because for the people wondering, like, oh, why is, you know, oh, there's less viewers, you know, watching Tarkov at the moment, there's less people playing the game in general this time of year, whatever. Like, this happens all the time. This is something that's like normal. This has been happening since I started streaming the game, where we have like there'll be like a couple of months where we're waiting for a patch, you know, people will play other stuff. And I personally kind of like this time of year because I don't feel like super pressured to like play the shit out of Tarkov all the time or whatever. Unlike the first, you know, like month of the wipe, the first, like, let's say 2 months of the wipe, you know, we play Tarkov and that's all we do. But this time of the year, we get to play other stuff and it's kind of nice. But I think that even if they were to just implement some kind of rough, like, prestige system into the game to be the, you know, quote unquote, like, end game for the time being, I think that'd be really cool. And it would give people a lot more stuff to do. And, you know, it wouldn't be like the stuff that you'd get wouldn't be anything that would give you a massive advantage in game. It would maybe be like a cosmetic, or we talked about this before. Maybe your dog tag is gold now instead of silver. You know what I mean? You prestige 5 times, you get like a diamond coated fucking butt plug, you know, that you drop instead of your dog tag or something. You know what I mean?
That's huge. People love grinding for 10th prestige, 15th prestige, whatever stupid number it's at now, 20th prestige. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty, but like, that system did absolute wonders for the longevity of their game. And that is something Tarkov is really lacking right now. There is no longevity to Tarkov. It's just, we know what to do. It's been the same forever. And now you've just made that process shorter. It should not be this quick. We shouldn't be able to have level people. There shouldn't be any level 40s in the first month this game is out, as far as I'm concerned. It needs to be slowed down. As for other things to increase the game's longevity, daily quests, weekly quests, and monthly quests. Monthly quests would have huge rewards, but they'd also require you to do a ton of stuff in game.
Yeah, I've literally been talking about all this stuff for like 2 years. It's crazy. I still talk about this shit all the time, man. I'm not going to stop talking about it until it gets added to the game. But to be fair, we've been told that weekly quests and daily quests and stuff are coming. Probably next year. Maybe with Streets we might get that. I don't know. We'll see though.
But you get great rewards for doing them. Daily quests that give you some, you know, I don't know, give
making
you something.
the Kappa prestige reward.
It's just an idea I'm throwing out there. I don't have anything off the top of my head. Like XP, money, something for doing something in game. Weekly tasks that'll give you more XP or more money or more of a reward, you know, for having to do multiple tasks. Like maybe every day there might be a new task you have to do that goes towards your weekly quest or something like that. I don't know. But something like that needs to be implemented, because the current leveling system and the current quest system, it's not working as far as I'm concerned. It's way too quick. It needs to be changed. All right, I'm going to move on to the next topic. I'm just going to talk about this real quick. Weapon sights are still completely off, guys. I don't need to say anything else on this.
Oh, this is fixed.
Like, what's wrong with the Val, first of all?
Oh, yeah.
Why is the sighting completely off with the Val? Why do I have to learn how to not, like, where I'm aiming the PSO scope on the Val, even the OKP, should be where the bullet travels to and then there's drop. But right now it's not the case. You have to aim above their head. Or you guys remember this? It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
Holy shit.
This goes for some other guns as well. This also goes for even the Mosin. Like the zeroing, everything. It doesn't work. It's completely broken. Zeroing in this game, increasing your zero, decreasing your zero, it doesn't matter. It does not work. So either remove this feature until you guys figure out how to implement it correctly, or fix it, because it...
Okay, so that was when basically all the scopes in the game were pretty much fucked. There was like a couple of scopes that worked really well. And back then, changing your zero only made it worse. Yeah, I was just about to say, like right now, the zeroing works better, but it's not perfect. But I think the main problem with zeroing in this game right now is that I don't think we really have a lot of maps and like a lot of sightlines that can actually use zeroing. You know what I mean? With the new COD coming out, do you think this will be the end of EFT? Okay. No. It's not going to make any difference because most of the people that play EFT don't play COD. Zeroing works for only one bullet per gun because it's not to account for muzzle velocity differences. Yeah, so the zeroing in Tarkov, I'm pretty sure more or less only really applies to like sniper rifles. You know what I mean? Where you're like one shot, bolt actions, whatever. And you can like dial in your zero. Maybe even like semi-automatic 308 rifles and stuff like that. But for me, the zeroing, I've never used it because what I do is that I've just kind of at this point learned like how much bullet drop like whatever guns have. And then I'll just use the mil dots. I'll use the mil dots instead and try and like figure out like, probably about 200 meters away from this guy, maybe. You know what I mean? But yeah, the zeroing is definitely works better now than it did back then. And they fixed, as far as I know, like all the scopes in the game work fine now, right? I'm pretty sure. I only really use the Valde. But I'm pretty sure that I haven't seen anybody complaining about like scopes not working and shit. So that's all completely fixed now. It's yeah, I don't know. This has been a problem for a while now, and you know, people are starting to get sick of it. Like this shouldn't be the case. Yeah, it's better now. We're at a stage now where all the fundamental things in the game should work, and that's my opinion on it. There's going to be people out there. I don't give a shit what you guys say to me. You can say it's a beta. We're supposed to be testing it. I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware. Okay, I've been following the progress and updates of this game for a long time now. I have watched the rises of Tarkov. I've watched the falls of Tarkov. I've been there through all the shit times this game's been through. I've been there through all the good times this game's been through. And I don't care that the game is in beta. As far as I'm concerned, this game is still in alpha. If we were in beta, all the fundamentals of the game would work. Yeah. We're still in alpha when we have stupid little bugs like this that do not work. Like, this needs to change. And big things need to change. Otherwise, you guys... I'm making this video because I am fucking sick of seeing people going to the bat and defending your game. But they're making these statements based off nothing. They don't even play the game. I almost guarantee you these people that are making these statements don't even play the game. You guys need to start listening to input from people like me, people like Clean, people like... I don't care who it is. The streamers that play your game and support your game every day. You guys need to start listening to us. It doesn't have to be me. I don't care if it's me specifically. But you guys really need to start listening to your community and not listening to the people that are crying on forums. Because the people that are crying on forums, I've read them. They don't play the game. I can tell just by the bullshit they're spouting. And thousands of other people are agreeing with them. And that also means they don't play the game. So you guys are taking input from these guys for no reason. They're not active in your community. All they're there is for their little upvotes on their forums, for their little validations. Oh, and that's it. They don't give a shit about your game. Oh, God, it's so fucking true. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, this is why I'm so mad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, I forgot how, like, pissed off I was when I was making this video. God, I was so fucking, like... Oh my God, I was so, like, fucking... Oh my God, look at my face, bro. What the fuck? I'm, God. I forgot how, like, fucking passionate I was, man. I mean, I still am passionate about Tarkov, but honestly, there's not really that much stuff that's, like... Like, to be perfectly honest with you guys, there's not really that much stuff to be, like, super mad about in Tarkov these days. Like, and I think it's probably because I've been through, like, the worst of times with this game. But these days, Tarkov works pretty fucking well. There's, you know, there's some instances of, like, bullshit and, you know, bad stuff and shit like that that happens, which is fine. But it's not anything that, like... is really bad and not really like game breaking stuff. And the only thing that, you know, the only reason I think why streamers and, like, you know, people like me and people like a lot of people in chat that are kind of like, you know, bored of EFT or like playing other stuff at the moment is because we're just kind of waiting for more content. You know what I mean? And we're basically just waiting for, you know, the next patch, and we're just you know, playing other stuff for the time being or whatever. And the thing that I'm probably most excited for next patch is they're doing more. The next patch 12.8 is basically going to be like a lot of server-sided stuff and like networking stuff. That's hopefully going to improve it even more, because right now as it stands, the desync, it's okay. Like it's not, it's in a pretty good spot right now, at least on my servers. I can only really speak for myself because I don't really play on NA servers. I only play on like auto select EU servers. But it's been good. It's been fine. Like I feel like most of the time when I die, it's like I don't feel like I got ripped off, or you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, the stutters as well. Like the stutters are pretty much like completely gone. Now that you mention it, I feel like I haven't complained about getting stutters in a really long time. You still get stutters in like maybe the first 30 seconds of a raid. But Jesus Christ, compared to before, it's so much better. It's because I have the alerts paused at the moment, player D. I'll get to them after we're finished watching this.
We want to see this game succeed.
That's
all I'm saying. I'm not here trying to bash Tarkov. I'm here trying to make a video that's going to hopefully open people's eyes to some of the underlying issues that need to be addressed.
How did BSG respond to false positive bans? They've basically unbanned a lot of people that got banned falsely. Yeah.
Dressed here before your guy's game dies. I 100% believe this game will not exist within the next year if you guys don't make some serious strides to improving the baseline issues. We've had these conversations hundreds of times.
Dude, this was a scary time to be a Tarkov streamer, because there was a lot of people that played this game and streamed this game like daily. And it was, you know, it's our job. You know, it still is, you know, my job pretty much to stream Tarkov. I am a Tarkov streamer. And back then, man, I genuinely, like, I had moments where I was like, I need to find another fucking game to play and get away from Tarkov, because the game is going to die. Like, I genuinely thought, like, Tarkov was going to die back then. I thought Tarkov was going to go the route of DayZ. And then, it got so much better. Like, not that long after I made this video, there was patches that came out that made the game way, way better and fixed a lot of the stuff that was fucked with it. But man, there was a time there when I genuinely believed, like, the game was gonna, like, it wasn't gonna live, like, it wasn't gonna last. Like, the game would just fucking disappear. The player base would die. Nobody would play it anymore. But, yeah, it's come on fucking leaps and bounds since then, man. Leaps and bounds since then. But yeah, it's kind of scary to think back that, you know, not even 2 years ago at this point, like, I was worried that Tarkov was going to die and the game wasn't going to exist anymore, which is... And that wasn't even an over-exaggeration. Like, that was something I genuinely fucking believed. And Sho and I used to talk about it as well. We were like, well, I guess we'll start playing Dead by Daylight or PUBG or CS or something else and try and fucking move our community over there before the game fucking fucks off and that's it. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucking scary to think about, man. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for EFT, you know?
And it's about time somebody said it. Tarkov will die if you guys don't fix these just baseline issues.
It had like 3K viewers then. Yeah.
And that's my opinion on it, and I'm not going to change it. I don't.
That's something too. Like, Jesus Christ, the game was so small back then. The directory was so fucking small. And everyone thought it was going to be the next DayZ. Yeah, and I wasn't even the only person who thought this. I'm pretty sure fucking every other EFT streamer at the time thought this is what's going to happen. But this was back when, man, there was no AAA streamers playing this game. There were fucking, you know, all of us were all, you know, sub 50 viewer Andys, and the community was only just beginning to be birthed, like, at this point, you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy to think, like, how much shit's changed in 2 years, you know?
Care what anybody says to me, or people who go to the bat after I put up this video and make comments saying that all the points I made are stupid. I don't care what you think. The game will die. So moving on from that, we're going to talk about hackers. I haven't seen many on EU. I've seen tons of clips of people patch dropped. Now it's gone to complete shit again. The hit reg was better last patch. To say anything else on this, hit reg, it hit twice in a row on Shoreline or Interchange or whatever, flying around the map, killed me, blah blah blah. And I'm just not going to play anymore today. Just that's it.
I'm going to skip the bit about the anti-cheat, because something I said about the anti-cheat here is basically not true. And it's something I've always regretted saying in this video. But basically I was fed bullshit by some people, and it wasn't fucking true at all. So I'm just going to skip that part.
There's nothing else that needs to be said on that. Everything about hackers has been said before. Hit reg has taken a massive step backwards again. I don't need to say anything else on this. Hit reg, it's back again. More problems. It was fine when the patch dropped. Now it's gone to complete shit again. The hit reg was better last patch. And that's honestly not even a compliment, because the hit reg sucked last patch. And it's gone bad again this patch.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on. Why there's so much going backwards involved with taking half.
What I said. Basically, there was a thing going around before where you could... people had this idea where you could basically comment out the anti-cheat for Tarkov, and you could run whatever cheats you wanted back when they were running their in-house anti-cheat. This was way before Battle Eye ever came out. But essentially, that was bullshit. Like, it just wasn't true. It was just some shit that got fucking fed to me, and I believed it because I was stupid. And I feel like a dumbass for even fucking talking about it in this video, but...
A step forwards. I'm just going to put this in here real quick, because I've heard this from a bunch of people, and I've confirmed this myself to be true. Guys, the fact that you can decompile the game...
there it is. I'm skipping that.
Like, there are, like, issues like that within the code for something that is up as well when you get near scavs and other PM anti-cheat. And the fact that people can just go in there and turn it off.
No.
I don't know what causes this. It's worse this patch than it was last patch. Again, it's not paying a compliment to the last patch. It was a little bit better last patch, but this shouldn't be a thing anymore. We shouldn't get horrendous lockups when we get near groups of other players. This just shouldn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Do you guys remember that? Like, when you were walking in a map, you'd get a massive chug, and you basically knew you were about to walk into, like, a 2-man or a 3-man or a fucking 5-man or whatever. Because the game would chug like fuck because it was loading in their gear. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Yeah, that's gone. Wow, I fucking goddamn, I completely forgot that was a thing.
Or fixing your armor, and then you gotta move air and everything goes back into your stash. This is like petty stuff. This isn't like a big point, but I feel like it still needs to be said. This needs to change. Like, I don't know what's causing this, but surely you guys can figure out what's causing it and fix it, because it's so unbelievably annoying.
Yeah, the move errors.
Grenades.
Move errors are fixed.
That's still a thing. That's really cool. There's also a new bug now that involves when you chamber a gun from your stash and you load into a raid, your first round does nothing. And if you check the chamber on your gun, the bullet's invisible. So the first shot that you fire out of your gun in that raid is going to do fuck all.
Yeah, I remember that. That's been fixed. Also, the move errors... I don't think I've had a move error in a fucking really long time. Like, I haven't had a move error in a fucking... You guys get move errors? I don't get any move errors. Had some this raid, not bad. No? I'm talking about a move error in your stash now. Where you remember before, like, you'd load all your stuff out of your bag into your stash, you'd start moving stuff or whatever, and then boom, move error, and then everything would be back in your bags and stuff. Yeah, today, all the time. Maybe had 2 all patch. I've maybe had like 2. Yeah, I've had like 1 or 2 maybe. A couple of times a month I get for moving insurance. Rarely. Yeah, because when this was a thing, this was literally happening every time you tried to move stuff. It's like every time you tried to move shit, it would just poof, gone. You'd have to back out and go back in and do it again, man. Oh my God, it was so annoying, bro. But yeah, this is infinitely better than what it was. The move errors now for me are fine. Like, if we get a move error, it's like, whatever. I haven't had one in fucking months. You know, who cares?
What's that about? That needs to change. This is a new thing. I don't understand how things break. This was working fine last patch, and now this is a new problem. Leading on to that, 30 seconds into a bunch of raids. There's nothing you can do in the first 30 seconds of some raids you go into, other than reload your game, or just sit there and wait, and hopefully you can do... You know, you can put your visor down or put your visor up or move something in your inventory or something like that.
I remember
the fact
this.
that there's like a period where you first load into a raid, you can't do anything. What is that? Why? How does that happen? It happened a couple of times last patch to me, but this patch is happening all the time.
Yeah, this patch in particular, I do remember this in like probably 60% plus of like the raids you would do. You'd load into that raid, you couldn't do fucking anything for like 30 seconds to a minute. You couldn't put your armor on because we used to load into raids with our armor in our bags because of the armor bug and the visor bug and all that stuff. You couldn't do anything pretty much. You just had to wait until the server like caught up to you or whatever. But like that doesn't happen anymore. Maybe it happens, but like for like the first like 5 seconds of a raid, maybe. And I haven't had I haven't had this problem myself really, but like maybe you'd have a raid where like the first 10-20 seconds you might get like some hard stutters and maybe there'll be a delay on moving something or some shit like that, but usually it's fucking fine immediately. Like yeah, usually it's fine straight away. It's
happening to me every other raid.
But that's fixed as well.
Items are still falling through the floor on maps. I don't know what your collision's all about at the moment.
Oh my god. Do you guys remember that when shit would just fall through the map all the time? Oh my god, dude.
But like, good luck dropping something to your teammate when you're upstairs in a building. Because guess what? It's going straight through the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Don't know why. But this shouldn't be a thing. This is child's play stuff. This is simple collision things. Yeah, I don't know. Also, this weird gun holding animation thing that allows you to not fire or reload. Or sorry, allows you to not fire after a reload. Where your gun just kind of gets held like this on your character kind of awkwardly. You can't do anything.
Okay, so that bug where your gun would be held weird, it's been improved. However, there are still some guns that this happens more often than it should. The one example that comes to mind for me straight away is the 308 MDR. The 308 MDR still has this problem. And I'm not really sure what causes it. I'm not really sure why it happens or yeah, how it still happens. But for some reason, the 308 MDR, this happens like all the time with that gun. That's why I don't use it anymore. I stopped using that gun after it kept happening to me like over and over again. But this used to happen all the time with M4s and like pretty much every other gun in the game. So this problem has been eliminated for most of the guns except the 308 MDR, from what I know. And I maybe I should like tell them. Maybe they don't know. But also, I haven't had like an example of it happen to me in a really long time. So maybe I just need to spend a day using a 308 MDR until it happens. And then like submit the logs or like send them a clip or something. But this is... It's way better than it used to be. I'm talking this used to happen like fucking once a raid sometimes. Like back when it was really bad. But it's way better now than what it used to be.
I've had this get me killed a ton of times. I don't understand why this is happening now all of a sudden, but it is for some reason. I don't know what causes it. But this goes back to the points I was making earlier on how this is basic stuff. This is the ultimate basics of the game. Reloading your rifle. This shouldn't be something we have to worry about this late into the game. This shouldn't be a problem. But yet it is. And I fucking hate that I have to do this, man. I hate having to like make videos like this because I want this game to do well, and I feel like the more people that talk about these issues, the more likelihood that we're going to get it some attention, and the more likelihood that it might get fixed. I don't know, dude. But like this is such basic shit, and it just doesn't work, and I don't understand why after all this time. Another big thing I'm going to say here: way too long, guys. We need new maps. We need new maps. We need new maps faster. It's just not good enough. Without content, this game dies. I can't tell you how.
Oh, the fucking famous Gaiazo crosshair, boys. I fucking hit my keyboard and I brought up the fucking Gaiazo crosshair thing. And so many people in the comments and shit thought I had a fucking crosshair on my screen. God fucking damn it, bro. This fucking crosshair caused me so much grief back then, man. Holy shit. But what I was saying about the maps, I think that was a little bit harsh because, I mean, when we do get new maps in Tarkov, they're always fucking sick. Like, they're always so sick. But it does take a long time to get new maps. But there's a reason for that, because they do put a lot of work into the map. So I think I was just being a bit... I think I was being a bit, like, irrational in this one, maybe? I don't know.
Sick I am of playing customs over and over again because it's the only place I'm getting PvP right now because it's early patch and all the tasks are on customs.
That's so funny as well that I was saying customs is the only place I'm getting PvP right now because it's early patch. Lads, 2 years ago, This was still around the time where you could like run multiple raids back to back to back to back and not see any fucking players. That is how small the player base for Tarkov was back then. Like there was times where we had like, and especially like after the first month of the wipe, dude, you would have times where you wouldn't see fucking anybody for like an entire day sometimes. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, that's not really that much of an issue now because there's a lot more people who play EFT. But, yeah, Jesus, I just remember days where we would just talk to chat all day. That's all we do. We still do that. Like, we still talk to chat all day. But we would run around maps, we'd loot, we'd kill scavs, we'd loot, we'd talk to chat, and that's all we'd fucking do. And if you ever ran into PvP, holy hallelujah, content. You know what I mean?
That's another thing too. Why are 80% of the tasks on customs? It doesn't make sense. I'm sure.
Why are 80% of the tasks on customs?
Fine.
Oh god.
Put stuff.
Yeah, why are 80% of the tasks on customs and shoreline? Oh my fucking god.
Maps. Just move the tasks around. Just let us play other maps while we're leveling up too.
Yeah.
And then at least that way the population of other maps aren't going to depend on, you know, how late people are into their task cycles. But we need new maps, guys. I would rather new maps over bug fixes, to be honest. At this stage, just to have something new to do.
That was a stupid thing for me to say as well, because the people that design the maps don't work on fucking bug fixes, so that's something really fucking dumb that I said back then too, which I take back completely, because that is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever fucking said in the last like 3 years or so, you know what I mean?
Deal with the bug fixes. I don't agree that these bugs exist. I hate the fact they exist. I think it's unacceptable that they still exist for the most part, and we need new maps. That's all I'm going to say on that. We need new maps. I touched on this earlier a little bit, but guys, there's nothing to do after level 40. You got to put in some kind of endgame for us. I don't care if it's weekly tasks, daily tasks, monthly tasks. I don't care what it is. You guys need to give us some kind of endgame, because we've like, the game's been in the same state for so long now that it's getting stale, and people just aren't as excited over Tarkov anymore. You guys need to either introduce the player stash or whatever that we can go in and interact with and upgrade over time and stuff like that, and make that the late game.
Oh, the hideout. Yeah, still true, but I mean, there's a lot more stuff to do nowadays in Tarkov than there was back then. That's like fucking undoubtedly true. There is a lot more to do now than there was back when I made this video, for sure.
For the time being, implement daily quests, monthly quests, weekly quests. Something special missions. I don't care if I get a mail from a trader that says, hey, I have a special mission for you after I have all my tasks, and I gotta go, oh cool, what the fuck is this? And he's like, I'm gonna give you this and this. I want you to do this for me, and you go and do that. Just random events, just random tasks that just get given to you. That would be enough to just keep me interested, to keep playing. Increase late spawns, guys. You told us that you were fixing this. You told us it wasn't going to happen as often, yet 80% of the raids I go into are late spawns.
The reason that 80% of the raids that I went into were late spawns back there was because there weren't enough players to populate raids. That's why. I don't really get late spawns that often anymore. Most of my raids, a good, like, hefty chunk and hefty percentage of my raids are fresh raids. Still, sometimes I get late raids, but, like, generally it's not that bad. When I was talking about late raids here, I'm talking about spawning into a fucking raid like 5-10 minutes late. Like, it's not like these days when you're maybe 30 seconds late to a raid, which still kind of sucks, but it's not as bad as being 5 or 10 fucking minutes late to a raid, man.
A minute late, 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. This is so unbelievably boring. Because you know what happens when you get into a raid late? There's somebody over in a position that you could have no idea he's going to be there. And you're just going to walk out and get one-tapped because he was in position before you even spawned into the raid. It's unfair. I can't defend this anymore. This is another staple problem. Everybody should load in at the same time. More or less. This whole late spawning thing is so unbelievably annoying. You get into a raid late. Oh, guess what? All the good rooms are looted. Guess what? All the scavs are dead. You have a task where you have to kill scavs? Oh, well, I guess you're going to have to hang around for 10 minutes for the next scav wave to spawn in. Scab boss is going to be dead. You know, all the PMCs are going to be dead. They're already going to have all their gear and be moving out. You guys think that 2 or 3 minutes don't make a big difference? It does. Yeah. And you know what else is frustrating? Being on the other end of that. Loading into a raid on time, killing a bunch.
Yeah, I still agree with that. Like, loading into a raid is a massive pain in the ass because I think people really fucking underestimate what happens or what can happen in the first minute of a raid. I would love to have some kind of like graphical representation where I'm not in the raid, but I'm like observing another raid, and you can see like this guy spawned in, this guy spawned in, this guy spawned in, and at the times they spawned in at. And then you can see people who spawn in late, and then you can like compare that to just how far another player has gotten or where another player has set up while these other people haven't even loaded in yet. That was always something I really wanted to do, but there's fucking no way you can. It would just be an interesting thing to just show people exactly how much shit can happen in a raid in the first 60 seconds.
Bunch of people clearing the area, and then dick-faced McGee over here spawns in late and walks up to you and kills you and takes all your stuff. I've had instances where people have spawned right next to me because of late spawns. I literally hear them load in and rack their gun behind me. And I turn around, they're just standing there going, oh yeah, it's going to be a good round, we'll get my task done. And then you turn around and kill them. And that's unfair to them too.
There is a way to do that, but it would be considered a cheat. Well, look guys, I'm not going to fucking download a radar just to do that. If I wanted to do this, I would like ask Nikita, or I'd ask like Dimitri, hey, is there any fucking way that I could do this where you guys could like provide me this information or whatever? But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I do remember that though, where like you'd spawn right next to people and then you'd have people late spawn like right next to you or right on top of you and shit, which was super annoying, but it doesn't really happen anymore.
It's unacceptable.
I will say though, I do miss this. Back when you could choose what side of the map you'd spawn on, you used to be able to like spawn into customs on boiler side, and a lot of people would spawn on boiler side because that was where you'd get like shitloads of good PvP. There's been like multiple times, and there's like multiple clips of these in like my highlight videos, I'm pretty sure, from like way back when, where you would spawn with a 5-man and like you just be standing next to them. You're a fucking solo player, and you'd be like, oh goddamn, Christmas has fucking come early for young Twizzler, and you would hose down that whole fucking 5-man because you all spawned on top of each other and nobody had any idea who each other was and shit. It was so fucking fun, man. But I'm glad it's gone, because to be fair, it was frustrating for the 5-man, and sometimes as a solo player you'd get spotted out and they'd kill you instantly and there was nothing you could do about it, you know?
I'm going to move on to my next point now as well, which is increased crashing. I don't know what's going on or why the game's crashing so much this patch. It's insane. Tarkov has crashed for me this patch more times than it did last patch, and
so Tarkov used to have this problem where it would crash the desktop all the time. That's fixed. Like, that shit doesn't really happen anymore. I can't remember the last time I had Tarkov like hard crash the desktop on me. We've had instances where we've had to like disconnect from a raid and reconnect because we couldn't heal or something, but like that doesn't happen very often. That happens like maybe once, maybe twice a month to me. But the whole hard crash to desktop thing is fixed.
I'm pretty sure the patch before then combined as well. I'm gonna move on to this next point as well. I don't know how many other people have been having the same problem, but guys, what is going on with the sound issues in this game? Why all of a sudden are people able to run up on me without making any noise at all? How is this a thing? The amount of gear you're wearing is tied to how much sound you make. I understand that. Why can a PMC just using a Mosin or an MP5 with nothing else on them still run up on me and make absolutely no sound? Okay. You make noise when you run. You make noise when you walk. You make more noise when you run and walk with more gear on, but it shouldn't mean you are silent.
Okay, that used to be a big problem. And okay, look, I'm just going to preface this by saying that yes, the sound in the game isn't perfect yet. The devs know that. We all know that. That is no fucking news to us. Okay, this is not a live action news flash. Like, you know, this just in, the sound in Tarkov is kind of fucked a little bit, you know, and like we all know. Okay, we all know what the sound is like in the game. Okay, however, it has gotten better. Now, the next step for the sound in Tarkov is going to be improving the whole Steam audio thing. However, at the moment, they're having issues with the new Steam audio updates that they're doing because it's causing people's CPUs to like slow the fuck down. And it's apparently like a really CPU intensive thing. So right now, as far as I know, they're working on making it better and improving it. But the sound now in Tarkov is still way better than it was 2 years ago. It's come a long way. It's gotten so much better. but it still has like a pretty like decent ways to go, I think, before it's really where it needs to be. There's still some places, like mostly on shoreline and mostly on dorms and customs, where the sound is just really bad, trying to tell like if they're above you or below you or fucking in a room next to you or something. And then shoreline, especially near like the staircases, near like 310 and the staircase like towards admin side and stuff like that. But it's better, but the vertical audio is still needs to be fixed. And I think that once they figure out how to make the Steam audio work better and not cause people to lose a shitload of frames or like completely hog their CPUs, I think that'll be the next big step that will fix the audio like kind of once and for all. Like once they kind of get that figured out, it'll be good. Also, my face here, Jesus Christ, I look like I'm about to kill like a family with a hatchet or something.
I've had so many cases where people have just ran up on me out of nowhere, making no sound. I will guarantee you at the time I was wearing contacts or Sordans and still couldn't hear them walk up on me.
Yeah, so that was a big problem back then, like people just making no sound. But I'm pretty sure we found out at one point that there was just a bug in the game that would happen like, well, obviously like far more often than it should have happened, but there was a chance that you could spawn into a raid and be completely silent. Your gun wouldn't make any sounds. Your footsteps wouldn't make any sound. If you're sprinting, you wouldn't make any sound. And everybody got this bug. Like this happened like a decent bit. So like you would see a guy and he'd be sprinting, but he'd be making no fucking sound, like at all. So that got fixed. However, I will say the Steam audio right now, I was talking to Veritas about this the other day, and he was saying that Steam audio and the standard audio or whatever are not linked whatsoever to silent grenades or like silent footsteps and shit like that. He's saying that's all post-processing stuff. But weirdly enough for me, and like maybe it's just like a fucking massive coincidence, but when I turned off Steam audio, I haven't had people running up on me making no sound. I also haven't had any silent grenades since. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, because Veritas told me that that's all post-processing stuff and shouldn't affect any of that stuff that you can hear in game. But as soon as I turned it off, I haven't had those problems since. So maybe it's tied to something else that we don't know about yet or something. But for the time being, I've kept Steam audio off. But to be fair, there's been people that I've seen say that they use Steam audio all the time and they find it's way better. So dude, I don't know. It's really weird. I'd love to know more about like the system and stuff and figure out like what's actually going on there with that and shit. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Maybe turn it back on and see if it happens again. Maybe we could do that, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, because I had it on for such a long time, Tater, and then it just kept I don't know, these things kept happening to me. It was weird, man.
Tons of clips of this. I don't know if this is just me or I'm just getting unlucky with this or what. But it's insane. I don't get why you changed that. Everybody should make noise. Fair enough, make more noise if you have more gear, but just because you have a pistol doesn't mean you shouldn't make any noise.
Also, one thing as well I want to mention here, I think this could have been a bug that was tied to covert movement here as well. For some reason, I seem to recall a time where covert movement just made your character way quieter in general. And I'm pretty sure they fucking nerfed the shit out of that soft skill as well. But I also remember a time where, like, because this happened to me a few times, a couple of days into the patch, I'd look at my skills and I'd go, what the fuck? My covert movement is maxed. And it happened to a ton of other people too. So there was definitely a bug with covert movement getting leveled up when it shouldn't have been. And then also the elite perk of it made it way fucking, like it made it so your character was way quieter. So these were kind of like two compounding issues, like the audio and whatever was wrong with the covert movement skill that kind of added up to make this problem like as bad as it was back then. But it's been fixed since. It's way better than it used to be.
That's just not a thing. For a game that's striving to be more realistic? No. No. This whole realism thing, guys, you're trying to make the game more realistic, and I feel like sometimes you guys forget that there is a line between realism and fun. And frustration. There's two sides to this coin, okay? There are two sides to this coin. It's a video game. What do we do when we play video games, guys? We have fun. I get the realism part. I understand that there is a demographic out there that wants the realism. I understand that. But there's a fine balance to where people are going to start getting really pissed off if you make this stuff, you know, continue like this. But this whole balance between realism and fun, I don't know how you guys are going to strike that balance. I look forward to seeing how you're going to do it, but this whole sound tight to wait thing and people being near silent is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The last point I'm going to make, I probably shouldn't even say this, but this is just surrounding the Kiba store. You guys keep changing the loot that's in there. I've noticed that this patch, it was nerfed for sure. 100% nerfed for sure. I have done a ton of runs on that store, and the loot in there has been significantly decreased since last patch. Now, what I'm going to say here is that key not only requires you to get very lucky and find the one that spawns on Scavs or the one that spawns on Goshen, or collect 35 condensed milks to trade from level 4 therapist. It's incredibly rare. Hard to get. It's an endgame item. Okay.
This was back when the Kiba key was worth like upwards of 10 plus million rubles, right? 2 years ago when the Kiba key first came out, that key was worth a fucking fortune. This was when farming Kiba was like one of the best ways to make money in Tarkov. Now it's 60 condensed milk and there's 2 keys then. There still are 2 keys. You get 1 key from doing Gunsmith Part 12, and then you get the other one by either finding it in raid or trading it for condensed milk. But what you just do now is you just buy it off the flea market for like 600 or 700k. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Kiba key back then, God, I really wish I could just click in here and go to the flea market and look at the prices. But were there 2 needed then? Yeah, there were still 2 needed then. Yep, still 2 needed back then. But yeah, I remember this because the Kiba store got nerfed because I used to farm it all the time, and then the loot in there just like sucked all of a sudden during this patch or whatever. But loot in Kiba right now, it's okay. Like it's the same as like Marked Room loot. You go in there, sometimes it's good. You go in there, sometimes it's trash. You know, it's... I still want to see it though, to where when you open the Kiba store and that alarm goes off, raiders spawn in. Because I think that would make Interchange way more fun. The thing that's just kind of making me sad recently as well is people just aren't really playing Interchange that much anymore. There's a lot less people playing Interchange, and I'd love to see Interchange just get something that would like really incentivize people to play it a lot, because I fucking love playing Interchange. But there's one thing that I hate more than anything else in this game, and that's doing completely dead Interchange runs. It makes me so sad. I run around, I look for people, I want to get into cool and interesting fights, because like the layout of Interchange and like the fucking just how unique the fights are there sometimes, whether you're upstairs or you're downstairs or you're moving between rooms, or like, it's so fun, dude. It's such a fun map to PvP on. And I remember when Kiba very first came out, or sorry, not when Kiba very first came out, when they added the alarms, I'm almost completely sure I remember Nikita saying that when you open the door and the alarms go off, raiders will spawn. Or raiders would spawn with Killa. And that would be like a massive like event like on the map that would incentivize people to go to Kiba. And for whatever reason, we just never got raiders. And I remember like questioning it for fucking weeks when the alarms came out, that we never got raiders on Interchange. Why would you? Shoreline and Reserve are just more valuable. I love Interchange. Yeah, I know, but like there's still a lot of cool stuff to do on Interchange. You know, you've got the med room that can spawn LEDXs. You've got the tech stores that spawn graphics cards and bitcoins, or not bitcoins, but Tetrises. You've got Kiba, and then kind of over on the idea side of the map, you don't really have anything, you know, but it's good that it's all kind of centralized. And well, maybe not centralized upstairs. It's on the, you know, the Ollie side of the map, but I'd love to see the Mad Raiders to Interchange, because back when they did that pre-wipe event where we actually had raiders on Interchange, that was some of the most fun I've ever had playing that map. Because the raiders actually worked like pretty well on Interchange. They were scary as fuck, but it was fun. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay. It should hold value. The other key is locked behind Gunsmith Part 12, which is also an endgame task. Fair enough, you can get it early now with the introduction of the flea market, or you can find some of the parts in raid if you're lucky. But for the most part, that is an endgame task. 2 keys, 2 incredibly hard to obtain keys for the average player, should open that door, and there should be a bunch of really awesome shit in there. I don't care if you guys alarm that door, where it starts beeping, and then after 10 seconds it goes apeshit, and everybody else in the mall knows I'm in there.
I fucking called it 2 years ago, bro. I called it.
I don't care. Make it so that those keys are worth what we spent, like worth the time we spent getting them, because right now they're not. And I think that you guys have a huge opportunity there with Interchange to make it one of the more played maps in the game. Some of the best firefights I've had on Tarkov have been on Interchange. It's a great map, and right now it's just being crazily underutilized. Also, I can't believe I forgot to write this down in the list. Glass. Okay, either remove glass from the game, okay, or make it completely bulletproof. Choose one. I don't care what it is. Because glass in Tarkov right now is completely broken. It makes no sense as to how glass functions in this game right now. The fact that I can get one-tapped by a scav or a PMC through one side of the glass, and I can dump 30 rounds into their head from one side of it, makes little to no sense. Either remove it until you figure out what you want to do with it, or make it all completely bulletproof. As for the Kiba store, I think all that glass should be completely bulletproof. You can't shoot in or out of there. If you get caught in there with all your loot and there's a squad sitting outside, tough shit. You either wait them out, or you run out that door, you try to make a break for it, or you run out that door and you try to fight them off. That's how it should be. It should.
Here's an interesting concept. What do you guys think of that? What if they made the glass in Kiba completely bulletproof? What would that do? That would make it so that if you're caught in there and people roll up, you have to be very fucking careful about how you move out of there. Now, one thing I will say, if they were to make the glass in Kiba completely bulletproof, they should make the loot in there way better. And yeah, I mean, it would make sense that, like, it should be bulletproof because it's a fucking gun store, you know? The other glass in the game has been improved. It's definitely not as bad as it was before. Like, you can shoot through glass now and still one-tap people. Like, no problem. Whereas before, it was really bad. Now, the Kiba glass, it's some kind of special different glass that blocks, you know, X amount of damage or whatever. And it definitely reduces, like, bullets damage. It reduces their pen and all that kind of stuff. But I think just for, like, Kiba itself, I think the glass would just be made better if it was just made completely bulletproof. But, like, again, it's all well and good to say that, but you'd need to actually, you know, you need to fucking test it. Like, you'd have to, like, have a group of people play Interchange a bunch and then, like, get into fights in there and see, oh yeah, this is kind of fucked. Like, this is really hard, you know what I mean? But the other thing as well that would make the glass work if it was completely bulletproof was that when you go in there, raiders spawned, because then that would kind of stop people or distract other people from camping the door super hard. But also, you can't really make it so that raiders spawn every time you open Kiba, because what happens then is people are just gonna non-stop farm Interchange because you can just farm fucking raiders that spawn every time you open Kiba. It would have to be like, I don't know, maybe like a 30% chance or something that raiders would spawn. Make it like the same spawn chances like having Killa actually be on the map, so that every time you open it, there isn't always raiders. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing to test, because at least on reserve, you know, you have to do X, Y, and Z before raiders actually spawn. But if that was the one condition, like power's on, you open Kiba, raiders spawn on Interchange, people would just spam the fuck out of that and they'd farm raiders all day long. Would Killa fight the raiders? No, they would be friendly. They would be friendly. They would be friendly with Killa. Because then Killa would just kill all the raiders if he was there. But then again, you probably wouldn't be able to get into Kiba if Killa was alive. Yeah, if Killa's alive on the map, you're probably not going to be able to get into Kiba without aggroing him, depending on where he spawns, because he usually spawns in Mantis or Brutal or attic. If he spawns in attic, then maybe you can get away with it. But if he spawns in that Kiba hallway, there's a pretty fucking slim chance you're getting into that room without him, you know, with him being alive. Like, that's probably not going to happen, you know? Well, no, because people don't non-stop farm reserve, or do they? Do people non-stop farm reserve for raiders, though? Is that a thing that people do? See, I don't really play the map, so I don't really know. But anytime I have played it, like, I don't really think that's what people do a lot. People definitely hang around in reserve for a long time. Well, yeah, they do at the start of the patch. But one thing I've noticed about reserve is people stay in reserve for a very long time. Like, a lot of people will actually wait for the train to show up for the extra raiders and for the extra, like, fights at the end of it. But, like, a lot of other maps, people will just run through and then get straight the fuck out whenever they've hit X, Y, and Z or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Be high risk, high reward. When you go in there, there should be an indicator to everybody else on the map that you're in there, and trigger an alarm that goes off for 30 seconds to a minute to let every motherfucker on that map at the time know you're in there. It would make it so much more fun. And just as one last little thing to do with Interchange as well, you guys should make it so that one side of Interchange is always daytime, one side of it is always nighttime. Because right now, apart from outside Interchange, there is basically no difference between day and nighttime Interchange once you're inside the mall. Yeah. You should make nighttime Interchange completely dark. Turn off all the lights. Yeah. It would be the best map on the game for using night visions. It would be so awesome to see that. I would love that. But that's just something I'd really like to see. That's just something I've talked about for a long time here. And I think that would be really awesome. But guys, I'm gonna wind the video down there. I spent way too long talking about this. I didn't expect this video to go on for as long as it did, but I feel like this was an important video to make as somebody who... Yeah. Shut up, Tweak. Yeah, so honestly, pretty much everything I talked about in that video is fixed. There's a couple of little things here and there, mostly to do with the audio, but like, it's gotten better. And then the first thing I mentioned about like the patches being like, you announce the patches on this day and then it gets delayed. That's so fucking funny, man. The hit reg is night and day compared to how it was 2 years ago. Like, trust me, the hit reg is infinitely better than it was before, like, for sure. However, the thing I said there at the end about Interchange being completely pitch black at nighttime, that would be like, if I could change anything in Tarkov right now, dude, anything in Tarkov right now, I'd make it so that nighttime Interchange, pitch black, no lights on inside, no lights on outside, anywhere. There's maybe some ambient light from some like generators or something. But dude, that would be so sick if there was no lights at all in nighttime Interchange. Because when I play nighttime Interchange, I spend half of my raid breaking all the lights. And it's yeah, I don't know. I wish there was just a way to just have all the fucking lights turned off. That'd be so sick, man. But yeah, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this little trip down memory lane where we watched this video from 2 years ago. And as it stands, pretty much everything's fixed. The game's gotten a lot better since, which is cool. And yeah. See you guys in the next video.